One of the UFC's most competitive and packed weight classes is without a doubt the lightweight division. The talented division has produced some amazing fighters since it was founded in 2001, and as a result, it has given us some amazing champions. In order to better understand the history of the lightweight class and all of its past champions, watch this video. As usual, if you appreciate this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Here is a list of every lightweight champion in UFC history. Without further ado. Number 1. Sha Sher. In 2006, Sha Sher won the vacant lightweight title against Kenny Florian at UFC 64. He became the second person to win the lightweight title since Jens Pulver vacated in 2004. He successfully defended his title one time against Hermes Franca, but in a rather bizarre outcome, both fighters ended up testing positive for steroids. Initially, Sher was fined $2,500 and was suspended for 1 year. But following an appeal, he managed to get his suspension reduced to 6 months. Although Sher disputed the findings, the California State Athletic Commission denied that any errors were made. Following the positive steroid test, the UFC officially stripped Sher of his lightweight title. Number 2. Jens Pulver. Jens Pulver first began competing in the UFC as early as 1999. He competed in 4 fights under the promotion before earning a title shot against top contender Cal Uno at UFC 30 in 2001. He defeated Uno by a unanimous decision to become the first ever UFC lightweight champion. Upon winning the belt, he defended his title twice, once against Dennis Hellman and another against Penn, in what was regarded as the most important win of his career. After 2 title defenses, he ended up leaving the UFC due to contract disputes and was forced to give up his title. Number 3. Penn. In 2007, Penn was originally supposed to fight Sha Sher for the lightweight title, but when Sher tested positive for steroids, he was instead paired off against Joe Stevenson at UFC 80 for the vacant lightweight title, with the winner's first defense expected to be against Sha Sher upon his return. In the matchup, Penn dominated Joe Stevenson, finishing him by rear naked choke in the second round, in turn becoming the new undisputed lightweight champion. He then went on to defend his title 3 consecutive times, which included a TKO win over former champion Sha Sher. In fact, he became so successful in his division that he moved up a weight class to challenge Georges Pierre for the welterweight title. But unfortunately for Penn, it wasn't meant to be, with the fight being stopped after the 4th round. Nevertheless, Penn is regarded as one of the greatest lightweight champions of all time. Number 4. Henderson. After transitioning over to the UFC in 2011, the former WEC lightweight champion Henderson managed to win 3 consecutive fights in impressive fashion. Following those 3 victories, Henderson earned a shot at the lightweight champion Frankie Edgar in 2012, competing in the main event of UFC 144. It was an incredibly close fight that ended up going the distance, but ultimately it was Henderson who was given the decision, walking away as the new lightweight champion. He defended his title 3 times, once in a razor-close rematch against Frankie Edgar and the second time against fan favorite Nate Diaz. He then defended his title for a 3rd and final time against Gilbert Melendez in 2013. Number 5. Frankie Edgar. Next up on our list is Frankie Edgar. After fighting his way through the lightweight rankings, Edgar finally earned his shot at lightweight kingpin Penn in April of 2010. Since Penn was considered to be the greatest lightweight at that time, Edgar came into the fight as a massive underdog. But to the surprise of many, it was Frankie who came out on top, defeating Penn by a unanimous decision to win the lightweight belt. In fact, he was announced by ESPN as a nominee for the biggest upset of 2010. And soon enough, Frankie Edgar began solidifying himself as one of the best lightweights in the world, going on to defend his title 3 times, including once in a rematch against Penn and twice against his rival, Gray Maynard. Number 6. Pettis. After defeating Henderson back in 2010, in turn becoming the WEC lightweight champion, Pettis was transferred over to the UFC. Once he arrived, he was originally supposed to face the winner of Frankie Edgar and Gray Maynard, with the lightweight title up for grabs. But after the fight ended in a draw and both fighters were forced out for an extended period due to injury, he instead fought Clay Guida. Unfortunately, Pettis lost by decision and was forced to work his way back up the division. After 3 consecutive wins, Pettis finally earned a crack at the lightweight belt in 2013, taking on Henderson, who was now the division champion. Pettis made quick work of Henderson, submitting him with an armbar in the opening round, in turn becoming the new lightweight champion. From there, he defended his title once against Gilbert Melendez, finishing him by submission in the 2nd round. Number 7. Rafael Dos Santos. Rafael Dos Santos is someone who flew somewhat under the radar before reaching a championship-level status. Despite mixed success in his early UFC career, Dos Santos eventually strung together some big wins over the likes of Ben Henderson and Nate Diaz. This earned him a shot at Anthony Pettis for the lightweight title in March of 2015. Even though he entered the fight as a sizable underdog, Dos Santos dominated Pettis for 5 straight rounds. And by the time the fight had concluded, there was no doubt in anyone's mind the new champion was about to be crowned. In the end, the judges gave Dos Anjos the win by unanimous decision as champion. Dos Anjos defended his belt a single time against Donald Cerrone, earning an impressive first-round TKO victory. Number 8. Khabib Nurmagomedov. From the moment Khabib Nurmagomedov entered the UFC, many thought he had the potential to become a future champion. The way in which Khabib dominated his opponents was something out of the ordinary, and it was clear right from the start that his skills were championship caliber. Despite a few setbacks, both due to injury as well as weight issues, Khabib put together 9 consecutive wins to finally earn a shot at the lightweight title. According to Dana White, the fight would be for the vacant belt, with Conor McGregor being stripped of his title due to inactivity. Despite a few last-minute changes in Khabib's opponent, along with the bus incident courtesy of Conor McGregor, Khabib remained undistracted and dominated the fight to become the new undisputed lightweight champion. Now, with 1 title defense against Conor McGregor in the books, he'll be looking to make it 2 against Dustin Poirier at UFC 242. Number 9. Dustin Poirier. And last but not least, we have the Diamond, Dustin Poirier. After a grueling road to the top of his division, Poirier finally earned a shot at lightweight gold in April of 2019, taking on featherweight champion Max Holloway at his 155 pounds debut. The fight was for the interim lightweight title due to Khabib serving a suspension stemming from a brawl after defeating McGregor at UFC 229. The winner of the fight was expected to face Khabib in a title unification bout, so naturally the stakes were high. Despite getting the better of Max Holloway several years prior, Poirier surprisingly came into the fight as a slight underdog. The number 10. Tony Ferguson. There's an easy argument to make that no one has had a longer or tougher road to a UFC title than Tony Ferguson. Since winning season 13 of The Ultimate Fighter, Ferguson has won 15 fights in the UFC with only 1 loss to Michael Johnson. And after winning 9 consecutive fights in a row, he earned his shot at UFC Gold against Kevin Lee in October of 2017. The fight was for the interim lightweight title, given that the timetable for McGregor's return remained unknown at the time. After a rough first round, Ferguson managed to submit Lee in the second round to become the new lightweight champ. But to the frustration of many fans, Tony was stripped of his title after injuring his knee, which many felt was unjustified. Luckily, Tony should be next in line to challenge whoever wins at UFC 242. Despite being a bout for the provisional title, it had all the elements of a championship match. After 5 intense rounds of intense action between Poirier and Holloway, Poirier emerged victorious and assumed the role of interim lightweight champion. Now that Poirier is attempting to unite his belt with Khabib Nurmagomedov, we can't wait to watch who wins. That's all the time we have left, gentlemen. As usual, if you liked this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Aside from that, we really appreciate your time and we'll see you in the future video.